Okay, good evening, everybody. Today we have a lesson based on called First Day at Work. What to do. Here I'm going to present some tips, some pieces of advice from experts who talk to about give you their ideas about how to deal with the first day of work. Sometimes it is kind of complicated. We don't know what to do. We're kind of nervous about starting in a new position, starting in a new company, meeting new people, and all those things. So I try to collect as much information related to this topic, and based on ideas from experts, this is what I developed this presentation. Okay, so it's called First Day at Work, What to Do, right? So the first thing that I always, well, like I was saying, or I said in the previous sessions, in the previous webinars, is preparation is everything. Okay, so whenever you're going to do like the interview, what like when we did it for the CV, everything needs to be prepared. We need to prepare everything. Even our first day at work, we have to be ready for many things that we are going to show you right here. Okay, so preparation as usual, as always, as I'm I will keep on mentioning whenever I have to give the seminars or related to this is preparation, as that needs to be done always, always, never improvise, always be prepared. Maybe things are not going to work the way you want or the way you plan them, but at least you will have a scheme or something what to based on, and you will be able to manage the situations if something bad or something different appears. Okay, but at least not you won't improvise all the time, but just for moments. Okay, so yeah, that is the first slide. Plan everything in advance. This is key when you want to when you are going to start a well in everything, right? Planning is the key for everything. So I would recommend you again to plan what you're going to do, what you plan to do. Okay, this is something that we need to take into account. Preparation is so important. Okay, you can reduce your anxiety by being as meticulous in planning your first day as you were in securing your new position. As I was saying before, whenever you feel that you need a lot more preparation, that you don't know what to do, start planning what you're going to do on this first day. Make notes, try to do the things like write an agenda of the thing you're planning to do on that first day, your clothes, how to get there, what to say, how to address people, how to approach people, all those things have to be. Evening, Lucero. Yoselin Lucero, evening. Okay. So I'm giving some ideas about an expert, a national workplace expert, author of Your Terrible. She is an author of these books, Your Terrible Office Tyrant, How to Manage Childish Boss Behavior and Thrive in Your Job. So she is the one who is going to give more of the tips that I'm going to write here. Okay, and some other experts too, but she's the main one. So by planning, you can reduce your anxiety, and that's the important part that we have to take into account here. Okay, planning is key and mandatory, if we may say. Okay. Something else that I ask you here, another point that is important is to prepare and ask questions. Okay. Really, ask questions. Of course. Well, when you start in a new position, you have many doubts, don't you? So it's good to prepare some questions that you may have. Okay, it's not that you in the moment start thinking about the possible questions you may have, but it's better if you have a bank of questions before. Not that many, but at least the most important, at least for that day. Yeah. So let's see here. Although the first day really is more about listening, you can and should ask questions when necessary. Okay. When necessary. Let's mark this. When necessary. Okay. However, However, be aware of asking too many questions. So don't ask too many questions on the first day. Okay? So just ask questions when necessary. If you have so many doubts, don't ask them on the first day. But just wait for another moment to continue asking. It's just your first day. Don't worry. You won't know everything in one day. But at least the most important points that you consider in that moment, ask them right away. She also mentions it's a good idea to prepare by writing down both practical and general questions about how you can be most successful in the role. Especially about this, right? How to be most successful in the role. How you can be more successful in the role that you are going to have in that new company. Okay? This is very important. Another 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 important aspect that we have to consider is have a list of questions handy for managers you think you might meet. For managers you think you might meet, okay? So for your bosses. Make sure you also have a contact in HR in case you have very basic inquiries before you start or on your first day. Okay? Maybe you need to ask some other questions, but you can ask them before, so you don't necessarily the first day. Maybe basic inquiries that are not appropriate to ask them on the first day. Maybe you could ask them before. You could ask human resources so they can give you the hints you needed. So it's not necessary to ask those questions on your first day to work. Okay. Prepare an elevator pitch. What is an elevator pitch? First, that's the first question. An elevator pitch is like a short presentation about yourself. Okay, where you explain your idea, you explain who you are, you explain your experience, your position, etc., etc. But in a very short time, maybe a minute or a minute and a half. That's all. You know, you must be prepared for that, as I said before, from the very beginning. Preparation is key. Okay, so here, get ready to give a 30-second explainer of who you are and where you were before. As many new colleagues will likely ask about your previous place of employment. Taylor said, this is the girl we were mentioning before, the expert. Be prepared to also describe what you'll be doing in this new position, since there may be people who have a vague understanding of your role or simply want to strike up a conversation. Okay? So let's see. Let's rewind. When you say prepare an elevator pitch, is prepare a short presentation about you, your experience, and your previous place of employment, and your previous work employment, your previous employment. Also, what you're going to do, because many people may ask you just to know, maybe some people may not know what your role is going to be, but they want to have a conversation, they want to start a conversation in order to meet you. Okay? So, as we were saying, prepare your questions. Now we're talking about prepare an elevator pitch so you can get to know people. And our next move is show up early. Please, we get nervous. We don't know what to do. It's kind of, oh my God, the first day and I arrive late. No, this cannot happen. This is impossible. We have to avoid this anyway, at any cost. So, what is the recommendation they give you here? This is the first part. Get there at least 15 minutes early. 15 minutes early. Okay? That is the first point. 15 minutes early. If you haven't done the commute before, practice it a couple of times during rush hour a week before so that you are at least somewhat prepared for the unknown. So, when I read this, it seemed to me so interesting. I didn't take this into account, and it happened to me that I may have arrived late to some job the first day. I didn't do the trip before. I didn't commute before, and I had that problem. So, it's a very good idea if you do it twice or more times if possible, but it would be too much in a rush hour. So you know more or less how long you take, so you see what problems that may arise in that moment. So you don't have the inconvenience of arriving late on your first day. And as they recommend, it has to be 15 minutes early. Okay, so try to practice the trip in rush hour so you know what is the situation like, how long you can take, what probabilities may have, what problems may appear. Because when you see once or twice, you can notice that there might be accidents or the traffic stops in certain areas, how long it may take. So you have an approximate time, and you're aware of what could happen. Okay. Our next point is figure out the social landscape. So you try to see what kind of people you are dealing with, what is going to be the environment in this new position, in this new job. Okay, so let's see what they say. Two of the more important factors in succeeding at a job are to not only get along with your coworkers, but also to associate with the right ones. The right ones. What do we mean by the right ones? So if you want to eventually move up in the ranks, so you want to get promotions, get benefits, or other things like that, you need to associate with the right crowd, with the appropriate group. You need to identify who are the people who evaluate, who are the people who are the people in charge, the ones who offer the new things, the ones who offer benefits, the ones who give you the opportunity to continue growing. Okay, so it's important that you identify these people. And also they mentioned it's also essential that you begin to determine the office politics on day one. So you need to be aware on day one what how the company works. So you need to be aware. So important here, figure out the social landscape. So not only getting along with your coworkers, but to associate with the right ones, the ones who are going to give you opportunities, and to determine the office politics on day one. These are the tips over in this part. Okay. What else do they say? It is vital to understand the articulated positional hierarchy on your organization, in your organization, the hierarchy. Who is the boss? Who is the one? Who answers who? Okay. This should be easy as reading your coworkers' titles. Yeah, he's the boss, he's the manager, he's the human resources manager, he's the accounts manager. That could be helpful. However, because power can manifest in so many different ways, it is imperative to understand who actually answers to who. So you need to be aware of who are the ones in charge, who are the ones who call the shots, like they say. Okay. So another tip they give you here is to relax. This may sound crazy, this may sound weird, but it's hard on the first day to be relaxed. That has happened to me. I feel nervous. I feel like I want to do so many things. I don't know how to act. I start like panicking sometimes. So that has happened to me. So this is a great tip. Try to relax. Try to relax. Try to feel calm. Try to feel confident. While you're being strategic, also remember to relax on your first day so you can optimize your productivity. Why do you have to relax? So you can optimize your productivity. Okay, this is the reason. If you feel relaxed, if you control your emotions, you will optimize your productivity. You will work better. And this is true because I'm studying psychology. And the way you manage your emotions will help your productivity. This is true. This is vital. This is real. Mhm. Make sure you're well rested, prepared, and have every reason to be on time. This is a visible milestone like the basis, and you want to be at your best. So you need to be. How can you be well rested, prepared, and everything and everything they're mentioning here? If you plan before. So when you plan before, you know that you have things almost ready. There might be some problems, but at least you have something planned, and that helps you a lot. Okay? That helps a lot, a lot, a lot. The idea, again, I repeat, be relaxed, be emotionally quiet, emotionally calm, and you will obtain many good results. Another tip they ask, they recommend, another piece of advice they gave is smile. On the first day, you have to smile. This may seem again silly, maybe maybe not useful. You may think it's not useful, but it is. When you smile, people feel more open to you, feel like talking to you, right? So that helps pretty much. So it may have taken a while to react to reach this position. After searching, interviewing, and landing the job. So don't forget to be happy and enjoy the moment. So you finally made it after a long process, after a long time of interviews and exams and trainings maybe that you may have there. You got the position, so you should be happy about it and enjoy the moment. You already made it, so you need to feel that you are happy and show it and express it. So smile, okay? Smile is your best presentation. We all know that first impressions matter, of course. First impressions can change the course of your job in this case. So, smile when you meet new people, shake their hands, introduce yourself to everyone, and make it clear how happy and eager you are to be there. Your coworkers will remember. So, smile opens many doors. That's what you're trying to say here. Introduce yourself in a very kind way, smiling always. Okay? That will uh, that will be very, very important for you, and everybody will remember. Okay? Your coworkers will remember. This is what they say here. Okay? Now, we have another tip, which is look and play the part. So what do we understand by look and play the part? Well, it's kind of like being an actor or something. It seems like, right? Or read a script and adapt. What do we mean by look and play the part? Here we have some answers. This is not a good time to show that you are so relaxed that you can walk around with your coffee mug, be a phenomenal joke teller, or wax on about the day's major business headlines. So it is not about you showing up. It is not about you showing that you are the best. Okay? When in doubt, when you have a doubt, take the conservative approach in how you dress and what you say and do. Be as professional as you were in the interview process. And you want to blend in and make others yourself comfortable? If you are not sure what dress code, call the HR department and ask. So, the first thing, try to stay calm, relax, don't try to show too much about yourself. If you don't know how things are developed there, try to keep a low profile. Don't try to show yourself very much. And regarding dress code, if you don't know how people are supposed to be dressed there, call HR to have a better idea so you don't look different. Okay? This is what they talk about the part. So you have to adapt to this new place. Don't try to impress too much. Don't try to say many things because they may take it the wrong way. Okay? So this is another important aspect that we need to consider when we are on our first day of work. Now, we have another expression which is don't try too hard. Don't try too hard. Sometimes we try to, you know, it's our first day and we want to be like, we want it to be perfect. But sometimes it's impossible, or it's impossible, not sometimes. So it doesn't depend only on you, okay? So let's see what they here. The urge to impress can take you off track. So remember that you are already hired. You don't have to wow your new colleagues. That's as I said. Don't try to impress everybody. Okay? You are already there. So if you're trying to express too much, that can be uh, the effect can be the opposite. You may not be liked by the people. It's every new employee's dream to hear that people note how brilliant and personable they are, or how they seem to get the company so quickly, to understand the company so quickly. But that can be a lot of wasted energy. You'll impress naturally, and more so once you understand the ropes. Okay, once you understand the policies, once you understand how things work, it will be easier for you to show who you are. So don't try to impress, don't try to exaggerate, and keep it calm, keep it relaxed. You don't have to impress everybody. Okay, that is not the idea. The idea is that you feel comfortable in that new environment. Don't turn down lunch. What do we mean turn down lunch? Don't say, no, I can't. No, this time it's impossible. No, I brought my lunch here. I can't. Please never, ever do that. That's rude. That's not appropriate. And that may be a cause for you to lose many points. Okay? So the idea is not to reject, not to say no to when they invite you or when they ask you to go and have lunch. Okay? Take that into account. It's really, really important to consider not rejecting your partner's invitations. So, if you're offered to go to have lunch with your new boss and co-workers, just go. That's what Hoggett said once, one of the experts. It's important that you are ready to mingle with your new team. So save the packed lunch for another day. Okay? So you're planning to take your lunch some days, you could do it, but not on the first day. It's not recommendable. You have to be ready to be asked to go out, have lunch outside with your boss and coworkers. That will create a better environment. You will be seen differently than if you just say, "No, I can't. I brought my own lunch." That won't help at all. Okay? So keep this in mind, as this is quite important. If you're asked to go out, go out. It's the first time. Pay attention to how decisions are made. Okay? This is important for your future. You need to know how decisions are made so you know what the process is and how you have to present an idea or a project so the decisions are made the way you want. Okay? Think about it. Let's see. Regardless of size, in any corporate culture, there will be a decision-making norm ad hoc, which means that decisions are made after an event occurs, and ex ante, which means they are made before an event. This is imperative to getting along within the culture. So, this means that you need to know if the decisions are made after an event or before an event. If you are used to the opposite, you have to adapt to this new way of making decisions. So you need to have an open mind in order to adapt to the way decisions are made in this new job. Okay? That is important in order to obtain what you want. Once you know how things work, you simply have to adapt. They are not going to change for you. They are not going to change because you suggest that, because the decisions are made that way. So it's better to accept and to learn how to how to do it. Okay? This is important, and it is of great importance. Now, talk to peers, talk to your partners, talk to the new people there. Talk to them. Talk to them. What do we mean by this? One of the most invaluable insights you can get early on is how the department operates from the perspective of your peers. From the perspective of your peers. So the reason why you're talking to these people is because they will give you some information. They will help you with some things that you may need. If you establish that you're friendly and approachable early on, you will start on the right foot in establishing trust. So once you show you're a person that they can talk to, and you show that they can trust you, they will feel confident to tell you things, and you will know exactly what to do in every situation. And that's important. That's key when you're starting in a new job. Okay? Show interest. What do we mean by show interest? So if it's a new job, aren't you supposed to show interest? Yeah, that's very important. That's very important. Let's see what they say about this. You'll likely be introduced to many people, and when they make the first attempt to learn a little about you, make an effort to find out about them. Okay? So you have to be an attentive listener. So what do we mean by this? If they ask you, you have to ask them about themselves too. So it's a way to be polite, and it's a way to show interest to these people. If you show interest, they will feel good and they will continue trusting you. As they say here, it's not just flattering, it will help you do your job better. Okay? So it's quite interesting, right? If you show interest to other people, they will treat you better. If they treat you better, they will go better in your work. So everybody wins. So your attitude, it's pretty important. This is a little complicated, to be honest. It has happened to me, and it's quite complicated. Sometimes you don't know what to say or how to react in these cases. But the idea would be like, don't judge anyone or anything too quickly. Sometimes it is hard. I repeat, sometimes it is hard and we don't know how to react in certain situations. But let's try to see what they say here. Don't decide you don't like your cube mate because he didn't say hi the moment you walked in. Don't tell yourself that taking the job was a huge mistake because you don't immediately love the culture. Okay? So take a deep breath, try to think carefully. Don't feel angry or bad. Just try to take it easy. First impressions are often accurate and can be hard to ignore. I totally agree with this. First impressions are often accurate and can be hard to ignore. Hard to ignore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally think the same here. But you should give everyone and everything a chance. Okay? Try to keep an open mind and maintain a positive attitude. Okay, maybe that person was distracted. Maybe I'm very anxious and I should try to see things differently so they get better. So the idea is that let's not keep our first impression and forget about the rest. So maybe we can give them a second chance. We may have a positive attitude, and that will help will improve certain the climate or the things we thought were not doing well. Be available to your boss. This is key. Be available to your boss. Okay? What do we mean by this? So no matter what is happening, if your boss calls, you gotta be ready to answer. Yeah? This might sound obvious at face value, but on your first day of work, you'll likely be pulled in 1,000 directions. As you are the new guy, you will get to know a lot of things, many people, and they will trying to call you to ask you for things, etc., etc. You want to make sure you're accessible to your new boss first and foremost on your first day, despite all the administrative distractions. So you need to prioritize. Okay, my boss is first, and then the rest. That is they are trying to say here. You need to be aware that you are supposed to be there for your boss. Maybe they're asking you about many things, maybe they require so many things, but prioritize again. I repeat, you need to be there first. If your boss calls you, you need to be there. Mhm. Express your gratitude. What do we mean to express our gratitude? We already were hired. We already expressed our gratitude, right? Why should we continue expressing our gratitude? What do we mean by this? Thank anyone who helped you get acclimated throughout the day. Thank your new boss again for giving you the opportunity to join their team. Okay? So, it's not bad to think again about the opportunity you are receiving. It's not bad to say thank you to people who help you get get comfortable in this new position, in this new job. You don't have to do it all the time, but it's important if you express it. That speaks well about you. That says much about you. Okay, so be careful. Try to give, try to express your gratitude in every moment, so everybody starts talking well about you, and they know that you are such a great person, and they will be interested in continuing helping you. This is another very important thing that you need to take into account. Don't skip training sessions. Yeah, we may have during the day lots of sessions, so some training, some new things that you need to know, and maybe well you don't know what to do. The idea is this: what not to do, not to skip training sessions. So let's read what they say here. You may be required to attend a few training sessions or an orientation on day one. Whatever you do, don't skip them. Try to figure out a way to be there all the time. Okay? Try to figure out a way to make sure that you are attending those training sessions. If you have a lot going on, create calendar reminders. So these are the tips. Calendar reminders, maybe on your computer. If you don't like computers, put a post-it note on your desk, okay? But figure out the best way for you, depending on your personality, on the way you prefer to be notified. You can create a virtual calendar. There are many calendars. So you can do it on your cell phone. You can do it on Google. So there are many ways. And if you don't like that, if you're the classical person who prefers to do it on paper, you can put a post-it on your desk. You can write it on your datebook. So the idea is to never miss those training sessions. Plus, these sessions, of course, will help bring you up to speed. And if you skip them, you may quickly fall behind. So it's like you are taking a training session. You will be aware of many things if you attend, but you will be lost if you don't. Okay, that is the importance of these sessions and shouldn't be skipped for anything. Live with a good attitude. Live with a good attitude. So, what do we mean by this? When the day finishes, you need to know what things are happening. Okay? What do we say here? The last thing to remember is that while the first day at a new job is very important, you shouldn't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't go flawlessly. So if it didn't work perfectly as you planned it, as I said before, don't be hard on yourself. Many things can happen during this day and you don't have to feel stressed about it. It's just the first day. It's a very important one, but things can happen. Okay? You might look back on your performance on day one and second guess yourself. Yes, you should prepare and try to do your best. But remember that if you try to accomplish too much, you may get overwhelmed. Know that there's always tomorrow. Okay, so don't feel bad. Tomorrow you'll do it better. I consider that the first time, and I say this as a teacher, as in my experience as a teacher, the first class for me is the most difficult because I'm getting to know my group. I don't know how they work, I don't know what they think, and I don't know how to connect on the first time with them. So I imagine and I understand that the first day in a job is the same. You don't know the people, you don't know how the system works and all those things. So it's hard and you want to do everything perfectly, but it's impossible. So we need to know that it's impossible. We cannot do everything perfectly unless on the first day. Okay? Uh, okay, I think that's pretty much for you. Thanks you for your attention. Here are some of the sources I use, some of the web pages I use in order to complete this presentation. And as I repeat what I said before, everything depends on your plan. If you plan what you're going to do, if you plan the event as meticulously as possible, things will work better. You cannot just hope that things work well if you don't plan them. You cannot trust your instinct or your experience or any of the things that you may not have in this moment. You may get nervous when you haven't got an answer. You may be nervous when there is a new situation and you don't know how to handle it. You may be nervous when you want to ask a question and you don't remember how to ask it or what to ask. You know the idea, but you don't remember exactly what the words were. So when you have everything written, at least when you have something there for you to be aware of what's happening, you will flow better. You will work better, definitely. Okay? So plan things, try to do things well. Think about any other. There might be any other alternative that you may have. Uh, Also, they recommended to have everything ready the day before. So all the things that you need to plan, they have to be ready the day before. Your clothes, maybe your breakfast, maybe all the things you have to do, they have to be ready the day before. So the first day of work, at least arriving there, at least the presentation and those things are not a problem for you. So the requirement here is to plan your first day and maybe the week. But as we say, the first day is like the most important because it's the first impression you're going to give. And the part that I consider personally one of the most important is to be relaxed. Besides being prepared, you need to be relaxed. You need to feel confident. You you need to feel that things are going to go well. So if you transmit this energy, your coworkers, your boss will feel it, and they may like it. So if you show a smile, if you are polite to people, if you show that you're an open person and that the people can trust you, things will work definitely well for you and for everybody. So the idea is, I repeat, your emotional condition helps very much. If you do it well, things will flow faster. Things will flow. If you show a good attitude, people will love you and they will talk to you and they will trust you. Again, always try to interact. If they ask you so many questions, try to ask them questions too so they feel like you are paying attention to them. Try to be a supportive listener. This is a very interesting expression I learned, to be a supportive listener. What do we mean by this? So they ask us questions, we ask them other questions, they may give us the answers, and we try to continue with the conversation in order to make them feel like we are paying attention to what they are saying. So don't cut the conversation immediately. Okay, always try to ask more questions or to create a link with these people because you don't know if you will need them in the near future. Well, as usual, I appreciate your participation here, coming here, staying here for almost an hour, listening to my presentation. It, I know it's not easy to be for 1 hour listening to a person talking, and I really appreciate what your patience and you know your will of being here, your will to be here. So one more time, thank you for your attention, for your patience.